I was just reflecting, and I want to hold this thought, not hold on to, but just hold the space to re-engage to it. Okay, this is what I'm actually seeing, a vision of what happened, and I don't know what part of me that is very proud of what has happened now. It sees it as a big step that this transition in my mind has taken place. So what I'm getting is a part, a doorway that was blocked in the past for longest time, that as a person I was not able to decode it. I was not able to read the energy and understand the role about it. I'm getting there. This is a deeper psychology, right? So basically, as a person, I had this tendency of framing or holding back or resenting confrontation, difficult conversation, argument, anything with hyper energy. Growing up as a child, I hated it. I hated arguments. I hated confrontation, to confront other people. I hated being the one who's being on the spotlight. I hated being in the wrong side, and I hated making other people to be in the wrong side. So I was a lost case in a sense, and it makes sense for me now. I was just reflecting, and my mind is like that. It confirms that that's why you were black sheep, because if you are afraid to express your views in life, your beliefs, your sentiments, your ways of seeing, your perception, you feel somehow how you are as a person is not enough, then clearly you're giving everyone around you to walk all over you, to take ownership of your energy, because you don't know who you are, you don't know your energy. So I have been living in the shell, trying to being a people pleaser anyway, for a reason. Because one, as I mentioned before, I was afraid of confrontation. For me to confront people, it was I feel like my nervous system could not hold it. That's what I've understood with this self-discovery. A lot of meditation, a lot of practicing mindfulness and holding space for what I'm feeling, and then also the elevating from a place of just reacting from impulses, also learning why I'm reacting. Anger actually drives me, or sense of being impatient drives me, or insecurity drives me. I was actually, these things, it's like I was somehow assigned to a school that is invisible in this world, a school that was just teaching me things that you don't get to taught at school, like a normal school or in a community, things that you learn on your own. Like your soul is here to actually discover these things, and in order for your soul to learn this lesson, it needs all these experiences, the wildest, the weirdest experience that your ego doesn't want to get involved, because your ego is very inclined to be secured. Your ego is very inclined to protect, to defend. Is very inclined to insecurities, because the ego doesn't feel safe to be vulnerable, to open up, to feel the emotions that are triggering you. Your ego doesn't like that. Ego doesn't like a lot of things, and as a result, it blocks you from flowing freely through life as it is unfolding within the present moment. So I feel like the pain I had from my traumatic, past event, and how I basically saw things, it has led me into this self-discovery journey to understand my own make, how I'm wired, what it has taken to make a character that I was, because I can totally see now and feel it that I'm no longer the same person that I have been for the past 3 decades. 30 years in my life, I'm no longer the same person. I'm totally the opposite. It's like I can see a split between the old version and the new version. And what is so interesting about this self-discovery, it teaches you to see the value of the old version. Why you had the old version. What role was the old version, the patterns was actually playing? Because for some reason, all that is happening that you've been through, there is so much that mirrors you. Like your past mirrors so much about your energy, how your energy you've harnessed it. So you learn to you be able to see yourself in your past, your mindset, the belief system that were actually in dominating your mindset, and then you see your patterns and how it created your world and how you felt as a result of the choices you made unconsciously. And then with time you elevate, because now you're aware of this. It feels like you graduate. Eventually you graduate to a different dimension where now you see things differently. Now in this dimension you see again the necessity of what has taken place. You understand, based on the environment, based on the life circumstances I was growing up in. Yes, Mama, so based on that environment, you had no other option but to be in the way you are. Like, sometimes we have to sit with therapists and psychologists and psychotherapists. I don't know, you name these counselors. We get to see ourselves through other people's holding space for us. So you realize, basically this is my energy, and then it got diluted based on the environment, life circumstances that were taking place, the kind of energy, how it shaped and molded my mindset, and how I projected that into the world, and how I created as a result of the programming that I had in mind. I created a kind of life based on what is here. Goes back again to this person that I've met from England, this old man. He said to me, "You have a very intelligent brain," he said to me. At that time, I didn't even know who the heck I was. He said, you are very intelligent. It would be a waste that you do not harness your energy. But he didn't say it this way. But he said, you need, something to harness. I will say it in my own terms. Because he was more like, it's good for you, Thandi, to go to school and study something so that your energy is used upon something. Because you have a great, intelligent mind in you. And then he said something about, when I was living in Europe, he said, I hope next time in your life, in your next life, you make better choices. Yeah. And I said it here, one of the videos, that initially when this man told me this, I honestly felt offended. My ego was bruised, because I felt like, why he would look at me and think. But then with time being spent and reflecting on what this person is saying, and also seeing it in my ways, and I noticed that he was right. It was like a God-sent person to talk to me like that, because on his words he said, I hope that you make better choices, because in this world Mama, in this world, we are the creators. We are the co-creators with life. Whether we're in a space that we're able to see that, or we feel like life is the one who's dominating. And there are, we have both of those lenses, whereby we can feel like life is dominating us. We have no other option but to do. I'm telling you, I understand it very well. I've been there, I've lived that, and that is true. It is true when you're living in that dimension. When you awaken to your own reality and you see how that you are the one who's constantly choosing energy to fuel the kind of a way of seeing a way of relating, a way of positioning yourself to each and every life circumstance that's given to you. When you are awakened to that and you see that it's not about life, it's not life circumstance, it's your free will, it's how you are actually working with your free will. It's either you're working with your free will unconsciously, not understanding that you have a free will, not understanding that with your free will you can either create or destroy your life. No? So if you haven't get to that point, definitely you won't feel like you're a captain of your life. Definitely you won't feel like you are the co-creator of life. Definitely you won't feel like you are in charge in your life. You will feel like a victim of life. You feel like life is in charge of you. You feel like everything is happening to you and you are hopeless and you don't have any powers. You don't have any say. These two sides, those two lenses, we all have them as human beings. Some people are born already advanced spiritually, the soul. That means they are old soul. They have been here. They have experienced what other people are still yet to experience. So those are old soul. So those people are the one that when they get in this world in the body and live in the body, these are the kind of kids that are very intelligent. They are advanced in many things, not just, school-wise, education-wise, but advanced in everything. You can see they are very much awake, alert, and very, present. You can see the kids are just, they're not just reacting to everything. There's something about them. You can actually see these kind of kids, those are the ones that are called old soul, because in them lives a soul that is very old, a soul that has lived many lives, that understand a human conscious ways and how it shows up. And these are the ones who actually, when they grow up, they become something that is unique and different. Because in them they are hosting a great old soul that has learned many lessons through being in a human form, and maybe they're coming in this lifetime to learn something else, because we are forever coming in until God knows. But we are forever coming in, and every time we come in, we come with a new consciousness, the new height of sin, the new awakened mind. That's why we're not all in the same state. That's why we don't see things in the same way. Yeah. So I was watching something, I was watching how my mind now is different. In the past I was saying I used to relate with things whenever there's argument and go. I'll always, refrain from speaking, because I've already judged myself. I've already belittled my way of seeing. I've already, at that time, and it was like, and I know it was a learned behavior. Also it was a fear-based mentality that was dominating my old version, because I was very much afraid of many things. And with the new version of self, there's no fear. It's crazy. There's no fear, there's no insecurity, there's no guilt, there's no shame. There is literally like nothing. I can feel it in my own nervous system. Like, I know the difference, between the old version of self and the new one. With the old version of self, my energy was always like, it used to create knots in my tummy. That's like big knots, like uncomfortable, like something you can feel the energy is not comfortable, it's not relaxed. And the way I was breathing was totally different. My breathing was actually dependent on what is going on around me. It was not at home in my body to be relaxed. And with the new version of self, my breathing is I can actually stay without breathing for a long time. I can, I was even watching one of my colleagues today. I was standing close to her, and now I understand why other colleagues used to say, please don't, be close. Because your energy is you have no idea, your energy is powerful. If your energy becomes more purer and purer and purer, because you're doing a lot of work with it, you're working and you're listening and you just, going according to the guidelines you get from within that inner voice from you, it will become so light that people who are actually holding, they're still in that level where you used to be as well, or where it's dominated by shadows, and it triggers it's one thing to say what you're saying, but it's another thing that you are just you own your own being. Like it vibrates, it makes them feel uncomfortable, and it like rattles their energy. I've seen this. They don't feel comfortable around you because your energy and their energy is like oil and water, or is like dark and light. So it doesn't really come together, and it's normal and natural. I don't wanna lie. It's normal and natural. So that's one thing I do want to say about it. But one thing I want to come to is this about confrontation. I saw myself being involved in confrontation and just speaking my mind. And I'm telling you, after that, hi, this is a big transformation, because in the past, when I get involved in such thing, I will be shaking, I will be feeling nervous, I will be feeling all sort of things. Huh? Hey, Holy Spirit. Like now, I can get inside. It's like I can drive in a highway with 120 speed as if I'm driving on like 60. Like it's nothing when it compares to my engine, which is my nervous system. It's nothing. It doesn't affect my nervous system as it used in the old. In the old, there was no way. And that was one of the reason I will actually not get involved in argument. Or I'll just drop, or I'll just cry, or just feel overwhelmed by emotion, because I could not take the energy, what was happening inside my tummy, my nerve. It used to tear me apart. But now it's like this. I've got the German engine, like the German engine. It everything goes. You give me hard, you give me high, you give me low, you give me all kind of energies. Like hey, you give me whatever you mention. I don't know. You talk about death. You talk about people who are dead. You're talking about bad things. You're talking about, you are saying things. It doesn't matter what you speak. Yeah, like it doesn't cut. I'm testifying. Hey, you guys don't know the world I used to live in. Yeah? Hey. Me, I used to live in the world where I'm just like everything, because I'm so sensitive. Yeah? The way I'm sensitive to things, it's crazy. But now I'm actually realizing, Tandy, you're no longer the same. You can hold yourself up there. You can speak your mind. You are not even afraid of what people are going to do next. And you already know, if anyone acts in a certain way, you already know where they're coming from. You do not take offense. Your mind is very open to a point that however people act, it is also part and parcel of being. There is no right or wrong about how people, and that's the biggest highlight I've noticed. There is no right or wrong. Everyone, we all matter. Everyone is acting according to where they are and how they see things. There is no right or wrong. If people feel this way, in fact, that is what I call love, because people can express themselves freely from where they're coming from. This is where for me, it felt like it was love to hold myself in that position, I guess, because of that, to be able to hold myself and be in a space where there's chaos, and still be at home within myself and my nervous system, my mind and my body. For me, that is the highest potential ever, the highest and the most expensive in my case, because I know what it's like to live in the opposite, where you become wrecked by all kind of energies, and you don't feel strong enough to hold space for not all energy. You can hold space for anything that is happy or amusing, or just when it comes to dealing with reality and challenging things, I used to refrain from those things. I used to cover them with seeing things through the rosy glasses. It used to be like too much scary for me. Now I don't fear nothing. I'm not afraid of death. I'm not afraid of things happening in life. I'm not afraid of anything. There's nothing basically I'm afraid of, because I know everything happens for a reason, and there's laws and principles life that allows things to happen, and that is proven already in my case. So I'm not in a position where I am feeling like I have to be on my toes to defend, to protect, to make things appear, to try. All I do is to listen and act. That's all. Before I used to strategize, I used to strategize trying to protect people's energy, trying to make sure people are feeling happy, trying to make sure people are not being, agitated by my energy. Hey, that was hard work. All the time I'm like thinking 100 times, how I'm gonna make everyone okay. That's a big, sick responsibility on the shoulders of a child growing up and in 30 years doing that. Finally now, for the past 7 years, I've been working with myself. I've been honoring what is inside here. I've been choosing what is inside here. Choosing to honor it, to respect, to listen, to hear what it's got to say, that poor little child that didn't have a voice. I'm giving her like nobody. I consciously, regardless, the matter, the case, what I'm facing, I go blind on everything. It looks like I put my life, I could even die for it, because that's how important. It's like a purpose now for me. I must save Thandi. She deserves it. She deserves to be heard. She deserves to be seen. She deserves to be loved, to be accepted. And no, there's no one else but me to do that. That is my first duty, to do that, to make sure she's taken care. She is loved. She's heard. And I'm the one who's taking care. I'm the one who gives her love, what she needs. So if she says, speak now, I'm telling you, I'm going to do all things that I can do to speak. If she said, Thandi, keep quiet, I will do everything to keep quiet. That's how she is. She's in charge, and I give her the floor. Because I've learned to understand that Thandi is the one who have come in this world to create what she feels and sees best for me to experience in this world. And there is nothing in this world, under this world, above this world, will have a power to stop that Thandi. Not while I'm still breathing in this body. There is no way. She comes first and she comes last.